Chris the king of nerds, pro wrestling he swerves, stats and moves he serves, living in the universe, ring the bell he's there, with that passionate flair, posters up every...
Hey, welcome back nerds. It's another episode of the What Am I Nerdy About podcast. It's me, Fonte Flame, Joe here. We're gonna chat about some of the nerdy things that I'm into. We're gonna talk some nerd news, but we're going to also talk about the store that we're hanging out in. This is part of Nerdstalgia, and man, look at this shirt. Look at this shirt. We also got bumper stickers.
Yo, you can get it in shop.
So,
okay.
Yeah, you can swing by any time now. We'll have them here. $5 for a bumper sticker, $20 for a shirt. If you're extra big, extra large, and up, it'll cost an extra $2. But we got a great way for you to support the store, spread the word, and man, what a great logo. My buddy Doyle helped me create that, and then John at Kill Your Culture, thank you, shout out. Man, they rushed this order to get it to us by grand opening, even got it to me a week early.
Shouts out to them.
Great job. He's the guy that makes all like the rolling trays, the mugs, some of the t-shirts that we carry here, so he made. And they've got a great shop in Manitou Springs, Kill Your Culture.
Yeah,
so,
I've been there a couple times.
T-shirts and different paraphernalia that you might be able to use for things that create different types of smoke.
Various
things to
vapors
lay it on.
Yeah.
And not soil things, and keep it nice and neat, or inhale it through.
Organization is key.
Yeah. So keep us where we can be monetized when we get there. Speaking of that, like us, make sure you watch us, make sure you share. Give us some comments. We don't get any comments. YouTube, Google, they track that kind of stuff. We're trying to spread the word. We're trying to get this thing launched. One of the ways we're getting that launched is our grand opening party. Fonte is going to be spitting right here where this couch normally is. Wrestling's going to be outside in the hallway, and between the wrestling ring and Fonte, you're going to be able to find all kinds of vendors, cosplay and photo opportunities, and then you're going to be able to see the store. We'll have all kinds of sales coming up, discounts for that weekend only, where you can save a little bit of extra money. Check us out. Please give us some support. None of this stuff came for free, so support us so we can call that a success, so we can keep doing things like this for the community and getting the word out and making some fun things happen for the nerds in Colorado Springs. Before we get started here, Joe, let's talk a little nerd news that's going on right now.
Big nerd news.
So,
I guess you want to start with, since we're both big pro wrestling fans, I guess
sure.
We'll start off with one of the main kickers, Drew McIntyre, new WWE champion.
Drew is the most solid performer they have.
He's so solid.
Day in, day out.
Yeah.
He wrestles well. He looks great. His character's so well defined. His social media game is ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's so fun to watch. Man, he went to bed with the belt.
Yeah.
The same way the dude that won like the whatever they call the soccer football trophy.
Yeah.
That some dude went to bed with the trophy the same way he did that with the belt.
It's
that
beautiful.
Finally not bored at work.
Finally.
He's just brilliant. He knows how to talk. He knows how to perform. He knows how to wrestle. The dude's just an ass kicker. When he was skinny old Drew the Chosen One back in the day on SmackDown, I was like, really, this guy? But man, when he came back,
he had like a great theme song though going for him in his first run.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's done evolved into, and I use that word specifically because Evolve was somewhere that he really, I feel like, honed it a little bit better.
Yeah.
And
he grew into a bigger body too. He
Yeah.
evolved that was like a Pokemon evolution. He was
Man.
like his
He went from Charmander to Charizard real
Yeah.
quick, bro. And
Yeah, when he went back over to like What Culture, TNA,
ICW for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like all that stuff, man. I think this title win is definitely of more gravity than his first one when
Well, that
he
was
beat
COVID.
Brock. Yeah, that was.
I mean, I couldn't watch that, man. It was so hard to watch
sad.
wrestling. You know, when they got the screens up, I'd watch like the main shows, but man, it was so hard to watch that WrestleMania that year, man.
it was
Just
really
an
tough.
empty arena, they're kicking the crap out of each other. I mean, they figured it out in time how to like make it work for what they had. I always liked AEW's thing better, where they had like trainers and wrestlers around the
Yeah.
ring spread out cheering.
I think they took all that AEW influence because AEW switched it to the ramp cam, and then they had the trainers and all them sit, and then what did WWE do like in the next couple weeks?
Well, they put that.
They made the ramp
dome,
cam, and made the ramp.
Thunderdome.
And then Thunderdome comes after. Yeah,
Yep.
it's wild. But shoot, we also had Powerhouse Hobbs
Yeah,
signed
he
in
left.
WWE.
Yeah. We'll be losing the title on TV tomorrow because it was a Collision taping that was after Dynamite on Wednesday. His contract was up Wednesday at midnight, so he lost the title. It'll air Saturday, so it'll already have aired by the time this posts.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they had a pretty good tour through the UK. Drew got to take the world title to Scotland, which was very cool for him. That was his first appearance with the belt, was in Scotland. So that's very cool.
It was pretty tight. I seen the video clip of that, and it just was like you can't help but like feel it from the video. Like this is ridiculous. And I also want to say, good move by Powerhouse Hobbs. This might sound crazy because I'm definitely more of an AEW fan, but I love WWE too. But I think he's going to excel with that system versus.
They never knew how to move him up. And
Yeah, with
that's
AEW.
really. I mean, I'm not here to just crap on AEW.
No, not at all.
Because I can sometimes in a podcast when it comes to Tony Khan, because the love-hate. Tony doesn't know how to level anyone up.
Yeah, man, it's tough for him.
Like,
They have to level themselves
Swerve leveled himself up.
Mm-hmm.
But, all the other main eventers were main eventers coming in.
100%.
Hangman, Omega, the Bucks,
Ospreay.
Jericho, Moxley, Ospreay.
Okada.
He never knew how to get. Was it Warlord? Not Warlord.
Yeah, no, it was Warlord.
No, Warlord was with Wardlow.
Wardlow, yes.
Yeah.
He was somebody
never
that
knew how to move Wardlow up.
and that's money.
Never knew how to move Hobbs up. Never really. Even Darby's now. I don't want Darby going up to the top, but
Oh man,
man,
dude, like me some Darby.
I don't mind Darby. I have a problem cheering on a man and monetizing his future crippledness.
I feel you. He's a crash test dummy, man.
Man, I can't support knowing that, man, dude, my back's been flared up for 2 weeks, and I can't lay in bed and sleep at night. And the stuff he does, by the time he's in his 40s, pushing 50, dude, he's going to have so many regrets.
Yeah, that blood and guts match was crazy. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe what I saw. But yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah. Other new nerd news, I don't know, you said there was an ASAP Rocky that dropped.
Yes, new ASAP Rocky. Apparently the man had the album finished for like 3-4 years. It was like they did a clip of like a Thursday night or Sunday night football game where he was pulling up and he was like, yeah, the album's finished, don't be dumb. And that was like 3 or 4 years ago. So it finally came out. It's pretty tight if you're into that type of thing. Now, he's got a lot of different genres in it. It blends in a very different way. So peep it, enjoy it, see what you think. Yeah.
All right. I didn't get to watch the Golden Globes. Didn't really even look. 2026 had some good flicks. I don't think it was the greatest year for movies. Hamnet won Movie of the Year. Don't really know anything about Hamnet, sorry.
Same.
Frankenstein was nominated. Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. Sinners. I
was
thought
great.
Sinners was going to win it.
Me too.
And I haven't got to watch One Battle After Another yet.
So my brother watched it because he loves films as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
He loved that movie.
Yeah.
He quoted a lot of lines from it that were his favorite things, particularly I think Sean Penn. There's a line that Sean Penn has in that
I'm
movie.
looking forward to checking it out.
Same. Me too. I just haven't
But
gotten
here's the
around.
thing. It won Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy.
Wait a second.
Exactly. Musical or comedy?
There's definitely, he told me that
Comedic elements
Yes.
does not make comedy.
Exactly. That
Pulp
was
Fiction is not a comedy.
Yes.
Comedic elements.
Comedic elements.
Yeah.
That's why I thought the same of when
That's why it's hard to pay attention to the Golden
Yeah.
Globes, man.
it's all subjective.
Animated feature, K-pop Demon Hunters. Dude, that took over the world last
I
year.
could see that winning.
I know my vendor, Entertainment Earth, they are out of everything. I got the stuff on pre-order. I got the new Funko Pops. I got new bag clips coming.
Hey.
I'm sold out right now.
All them K-pop Demon Hunter fans, you heard that.
We got it.
He's got some stuff
We
coming.
got it coming.
Just stay tuned.
And then female actor, Jessie Buckley won for Hamnet.
Okay.
Again, I've been so busy trying to get this store open, man. I haven't got to see very many of these.
I would have gave it to Emma Stone on Begonia, but that's just me.
She wasn't even nominated, man.
That's crazy.
I know.
That's wild. She wasn't nominated.
Dude from The Secret Agent won the male. That's where the
Okay.
one where Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, was nominated. So, pretty cool to see a pro wrestler nominated.
Yeah.
Love to have seen him win. He did a pretty good job. He did a really good job. The movie just wasn't up to par, and I think that might have hurt him.
The Smashing
Michael B.
Machine.
Jordan, I thought, as Sinners, man, I thought they should have
Yeah.
had some more love.
He played his own twin.
And then Oscar Isaac, that Frankenstein movie's so good.
We'll get to it. So, as we do every time we do this, ask you what you're nerdy about this week. So, Griffin, what are you nerdy about this week?
This week, I just want to talk Superman.
Let's go, man. Superman.
So we'll talk about comics and my love for comic books and superheroes at some point. But
Yeah.
man, it's just fun to just break down one character.
And I think you and me both have a great love for this character.
Yeah. So to me, I like an iconic character. I worked for Disney for a few years, and people would ask me who my favorite character was. And it was Mickey Mouse. He's the iconic one. He's the fun-loving one. He's the one that, that's the brand.
Mm-hmm.
Now, doesn't mean I don't love Toy Story and Aladdin and all these other ones that I grew up loving.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, best Disney picture now is from Pixar, and it's Soul. Man,
Yeah, Soul is the best
Ooh,
movie. I think
man, I love that.
Me and you both can
Man.
agree on that too.
We could have a
best
what are you
movie.
nerdy about and talk about Soul
Yeah.
sometime, because man, that movie's deep.
Like grown man tears.
It is hard
Wow.
for I don't know if I've ever watched that movie without crying at the end.
Yeah.
That one gets me every time. It's a deep one. If you're a musician and you ever struggle with what is life for, oof, that one will hit you.
Yeah, truly.
So, I like the iconic character. And it doesn't get more iconic than Superman. He was the first superhero. Siegel and Schuster, when they originally created him, he was going to be more of this alien Superman overlord that could have been a ruler. And then they redeveloped him, and then he became, more of the hero that was going to take care of things. And Superman was sent from Krypton. So one of the things that I like about Superman and the iconic character is he is the prototype of the hero journey. Okay? So you go to all kinds of, whether it's Homer, whether it's Jesus, whether it's Moses, there are these hero archetypes that Superman follows.
100%.
Okay? And these are the characters and the stories that the hero archetype was made from, and how they came from humble beginnings, and how they, grew into greater power. And in some cases, they had this power, but they couldn't overshare. They had to hide it for a time. And the biggest thing is for Superman, because there's always the Superman-Batman debate.
Always, man.
Okay? Because
always.
Batman, they're like, well, Superman is the hero. He could do anything. Like, that's not a story. Where Batman, he's much more vulnerable. Because Batman is a human. He's doing all this through technology and learning.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
I feel you.
Superman has all these powers. Godlike powers. And he uses them to serve humanity.
Yes.
He's unselfish with them.
Yeah.
And he's who I want to be as a human. And I think that any good person wants to be.
That's the goal, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So he's that idyllic character. Okay?
I always thought he was the Smallville version of Clark Kent was, I think, just a wonderful role model. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That show, it didn't need to go on for 10 years to tell the origins of Superman as a child.
Yeah. It's cool.
But it was a fun show. And it introduced a lot of people to Superman.
Yeah.
I remember when my oldest son was getting into like superhero shows, we sat and watched all of Smallville, man.
Yeah, bro.
By the way, side note on Smallville. You ever moved to Smallville? Go into making glass. Okay?
Word.
Like,
Heard.
seriously, watch an episode.
Heard.
See how many glass tables are broken. Like, it's a trope. Like, take a shot, take a hit every time somebody gets thrown through glass in Smallville. Watch it.
Okay.
It'll hit you next time. You're like, oh my God. Like, slow-mo. Somebody's always getting thrown off the balcony through Lex Luthor's glass coffee table.
Yeah.
So,
Something.
The amount of glass that smashes, dude, make glass. Dude.
I literally just got like the reference to, I'm like, wait a second, damn, I'm gonna move to Smallville and there's gonna be people throwing each other, and then I'm like, no, the show. Oh my gosh. My brain is slow sometimes. That is hilarious though. Because you're not lying, man. The amount of glass broken in that show is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could be rich.
So, he is that archetype of who you want to be as a human. And, man, I loved the new Superman.
Same.
But we'll get to that. So,
Yeah.
for me, all starts as a child. Like, I remember Superpower toys.
Yeah.
Super Friends was the show. You get some comic books here and there. Superman, he's primary colors. He's blue, he's red, he's yellow. By the way, side note, my love of Superman's deep. You walk into my store, you walk in the door, you turn left, and it's painted a specific blue, and the sign is a specific red. And it's Superman colors. Like my store, I wanted Superman blue and reds. So that all my store was gonna be Superman blue and red. There's parts of it that's black. I ain't spending the money to paint all this stuff. Black works.
Yeah,
but
black
yeah,
works, especially for over
dude,
here.
you should have saw the ugly green that it used to be. So
absolutely.
yeah, it definitely had to get painted.
Some shades of green are just not it.
Yeah, it was.
I love
I mean,
green.
this used to be a GNC, so
Okay.
yeah. So the shelves and the colors worked for GNC. They're all earth tony. That's not what I wanted for this, especially the comic book section up there. So Superman colors, because it goes deep with me. But the Christopher Reeve Superman, that was
Classic.
a couple of years before I was born. But the VHS tapes were out. There were Superman ones that were made when I was alive, like the Richard Pryor one and the that god-awful number 4 Quest for Peace.
Quest for Peace was really wild.
The first 2 were pretty decent movies.
Yo.
Now, spoiler alert, but when a movie's old enough to drink, you can say spoiler alert and give time and spoil it. That's my only rule.
Yeah.
It has to be 21 years old at least, and say spoiler alert and give me some time.
That's
so
fair.
you've had your time.
Had the time.
At the end of the movie, he goes and he spins the world backwards.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
As a child, I'm like, that's not the way things work.
They spun it backwards and
Like,
what,
that would
saved
destroy
Lois?
humanity.
Yeah.
And it backed time up. No, it's not a time machine. Spinning the world backwards doesn't back things up. No. So I didn't like it then. Don't like it now. It's a cop-out ending. It actually wasn't even supposed to be used until the end of the second movie.
Yeah, because
Donner, it's the first time it ever happened. Other movies have done it since, but to save money and time, they shot 1 and 2 back to back.
mm-hmm.
But Donner got fired after the first movie, and they recut the second movie. So it wasn't truly his vision. Somebody else took over. It's where the super kiss came from, and throwing the S off and using it as a weapon, all that silly stuff. But there was a lot of silly stuff in Superman 2, like losing his powers. And, yeah, it's
for the time, I think, and then like I think I have the DVD version of the Richard Donner cut, and it's much better, but still like not
still
like
turns
the best
the world
Superman
backwards.
movie.
And then when you see that at the end of a second movie after a first movie where that happened, and you're like, oh my god. But
yeah, exactly.
what was great in it was Christopher Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
He embodied Superman, and that his clumsy Clark Kent was so much fun to watch. Where he stumbled, that would throw you off the scent. You know, when somebody's like, "Man, this big dude, he kind of looks like Superman," but when he's so clumsy, messes up, fumbles around, you're like, "How can this dude be Superman?" Like, he sells it so well.
He really does.
And in a city of like they talk about it in my favorite live action Superman. I know I'm gonna get all over the place, but
Go for it.
Superman and Lois, the CW show that's also on Max right now.
Yes.
Well, you can watch it on Max. Maybe it'll end up on Netflix. God, that's a whole mess. Physical media. You don't lose physical media. Doesn't go away. Sell it at Nerdstalgia. Nerdstalgia.shop. You can that's my favorite Superman, but he talks about how, you know, it's all about distracting because you're in a city like Metropolis, supposed to be like New York City. There's all these people. They're not looking. People are moving so fast. They're not looking at you as the Superman guy. Like, you gotta have the glasses. You gotta change your profile a little bit, and it made sense for the first time. Other than the fact that it was like Lois and Perry and people he interacted, Jimmy, that he interacted with every day. So
Jimmy Olsen is a hell of a character.
Yeah,
I love that.
There's a lot of depth depending on which character you go with on Jimmy too. So
New Jimmy.
Oh, the black dude Jimmy?
No, New Jimmy in the new movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the Supergirl show?
No,
They had a Jimmy in there. He's a black dude. He was like suave.
That's tough too, bro.
Yeah.
Because Jimmy's supposed to be like, I don't know.
It's supposed to be nerdy.
It's supposed to be nerdy, but I don't know. Sometimes it's cool to have a little different,
I know.
take on him.
I know.
But he is supposed to be a little nerdy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Superman's pal. He's a superhero in one of them. He gets to be the Guardian. He has his own superhero team in the Silver Age. They did some weird stuff in the Silver Age. So Christopher Reeves was the start of it. But then, get into video games, get into this, get into that. Kids, short attention span, you get into all kinds of things. A little bit of He-Man, a little bit of Transformers, a little bit of Superman. Batman came out in '89, the Michael Keaton one.
Ooh,
that was my childhood. I collected all the cards, got the VHS tape, watched it all the time. Had all kinds of toys with that. That probably started my little collecting habit, buying the different toys. I'd even buy the toys after, but part of that was I got back into superheroes because in the 90s, there was a comic book boom. And a lot of it goes to a few different things. There was the X-Men show, Batman the Animated Series. Those were excellent portrayals of the comic books, especially X-Men and Spider-Man. They were literally like the comic books come to life.
Yes, bro.
Batman the Animated Series was a reimagining, but it was a brilliant reimagining.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Still watch it to this day.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, I still watch a lot of that. I was watching He-Man before you got here, man.
Love that.
Which doesn't hold up all that well, but God, it's fun.
Yeah, true.
So that helped. Image Comics was a big thing. All these creators were not getting rights to their stories from Marvel and DC, so they left and they started their own imprint called Image, and you had all these new, bright, fancy, like they really revolutionized comic books. They had full color glossy pages instead of rough paper, made the colors pop more. They were recreating, like when Todd McFarlane took over Infinity Incorporated, he redesigned how comic panels were done and the way that he drew. And he just got this throwaway title from DC, and he got this job, and God, his stuff was brilliant. Then he got the job with Marvel doing Spider-Man, and he went to create Spawn. And you had like Liefeld, who created X-Force, including Deadpool, Cable. He was creating characters for Image, and all these guys were creating their own new characters, and they were really taking off at the time. The other big thing, and the thing that hooked me forever, the death of Superman.
Well, that was something that I, like, when you mentioned we were going to talk about, I wrote that down, like, it's a question to ask you about that, because I was like, yo, you, like, lived through that.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
So I remember buying the 4th printing, because that's what they had on the newsstand. I got a 4th print. That's all I could get. Later, I got the 1st print and the bag and all of that, but that 4th printing, man, that was one of my favorite comic books. At one time, I wanted to get a tattoo, like on my back, on my arm, like the mural of all the rubble, and Lois holding the dead Superman in her arms. And then I realized how much detail it was, and I was like, man, tattoos hurt.
And it's expensive sometimes. Tattoos hurt. Sometimes you're like, I'm good on this. I could skip a session.
Yeah, so I was hooked.
Yeah, the death of Superman.
Superman went down. Like this Doomsday character, which you later found out was created to kill Kryptonians, and the more he was killed, the stronger he came back, and he was killed and came back and killed and came back, and he was strong, and he hunted down Kryptonians, and that was the last Kryptonian. They gave him a whole backstory, but at that time he was just Doomsday. He was just this monster. The whole Justice League couldn't stop him. He kept going towards the city, and here comes Superman. They go blow for blow for blow, and they hit each other so hard it knocks all the glass off all the skyscrapers, and they both fall dead. Like, Superman defeated him, but he gave his life to do it. And it was goes back to the old fable of John Henry, who fought the machine, and he won, but he gave his life.
He gave his
right.
John
We're
Henry,
gonna come
man.
back to John Henry, actually. That ties to Superman here pretty quick. So Superman goes down, man, and it's a world without a Superman. And what's the world gonna be like? And this was like novel for comic books at the time. Like, they'd killed off characters. Bucky died. Gwen Stacy died. The second Robin, Jason Todd, died. They were all big deals, and at that point, all 3 of those characters were still dead. Then Superman, like, that's a main character. He dies. I'm like, where are they going with that? So at that time, there were 4 Superman titles. Okay, there was Superman, there was Adventures of Superman, Action Comics, and Superman the Man of Steel. Each of those 4 comics had different creative teams, writers, artists, and told different stories, but they would tie into each other for crossovers, like going into all of this. So here they tied into each other, but they had their own loose stories, and each of the 4 titles, there was a different Superman. So you had a Supergirl at that time that was around. It wasn't the Supergirl that was the cousin. That's a whole other thing. But it was a Supergirl that was around, kind of overseeing. There was a Guardian. There were different heroes of Metropolis that were trying to keep the peace in Metropolis. It's a big city, and all these supernatural things have been happening, and usually Superman was there, and now Superman wasn't. So here comes, in Adventures of Superman, was this cyborg-looking dude. And he told Lois that he lost part of his memory, but they reconstructed him, and he looked like Superman. Like the face looked like, same hair, had the suits, the abilities, but he was kind of rebuilt. And then in Action Comics, you had this guy that said he was the last son of Krypton. He was back, and he was like a dark version of Superman. He really looked like a badass.
Like the one that had more the long hair with the, like, he didn't have a cape?
No.
Okay.
That's a little bit later.
Yeah.
So this ended up being the Eradicator, and the Eradicator was technology that was Kryptonian that could house different Kryptonian knowledge, and he was the one that was able to house Superman's life force and put Superman's body in a rejuvenation chamber.
Yeah.
So he shot more plasma out of his hands instead of eye beams, but he was the one that had the connected cape. He had those yellow visors.
Oh, okay.
He looked like a badass.
Okay.
He was the one that looked the coolest. But he ended up being like a Kryptonian technology that could go rogue at different times. The cyborg ended up being Hank Henshaw, which was a villain of Superman who blamed Superman for his destruction. And when he was rebuilt as a cyborg. So he came back to be an imposter Superman.
Right. Okay.
He even tried to bring Doomsday back and all that kind of stuff. Like, he was the one that took Doomsday out, so he won the trust of Metropolis because he put Doomsday's body on an asteroid, put it out in space, but he knew where he saved it, went back and got him later. Yeah. But he won the trust doing that. And you know what? I think Adventures of Superman was actually the Superboy. So the Superboy was a clone of Superman.
Yes.
So he was the young one. He was very 90s. He had the black round, Liam Gallagher looking glasses. He had the curly top, shaved sides. He had the leather jacket. The leather jacket was pretty tough.
He was tough.
He had the Superman logo on that instead of a cape. And he was young. He didn't like being called Superboy. I'm Superman. And then there was my favorite. And honestly, this is one of my favorite superhero characters. As a kid, it was my favorite. I've got a number 1 when he went solo, autographed by the whole creative team, writer, artist, colors, like ink, all of it.
Bro, that's sick.
I love Steel.
Oh, yeah, Steel is tough.
So Superman the Man of Steel.
Steel is tough.
And that's where John Henry comes back. This dude's name was John Henry Irons. And he used to work for the government. He didn't like what the government was doing with his creations, so he went low profile. He was just working. He went to a big city like Metropolis, and he worked on the high steel, building skyscrapers. Somebody tripped. He swung off to save the guy, and by saving this guy, he falls. Falling to his death from the skyscraper. Here comes Superman, saves his life. I owe you my life, Superman. Like, he should be dead. Superman saved me. The least I can do is be a hero for somebody else the same way Superman was. So, when this battle's going, he grabs a hammer. He's going to go help Superman fight Doomsday. He knows he's going to die, but he's going to help. Before he gets there, a building comes down. He's trapped in all this rubble. After, they're clearing it out, he comes up, he's got the hammer, he's still ready to fight. So he uses all this government background knowledge, and in a sense, he's Black Iron Man. Okay? He creates a suit of armor. It flies with rocket boots, shoots rivets out the wrist. He's got a steel hammer that he uses. He's got the cape. He makes his own S shield. But he's essentially Iron Man. He flies in a suit. But I really like what they did later. They moved him to Washington, D.C. in a very black area, and they made it a very cultural heavy comic book. It was brilliant. Really well done. But we're not here to talk about Steel, although I could all day.
I'm gonna check some more Steel out.
What I loved about Steel was, and this is where I get real deep into comic books and heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Steel said, Superman's not here anymore. Superman saved my life. I shouldn't be here. I will be Superman. And he stands up and he risks his life to be Superman. He knows he can't fill those shoes, but he knows nobody's going to. So he's going to step up and do what he can. So, man, I bought the whole run of Steel. I loved that character as a kid. Were the comics great? No, they weren't great. The first run was really good, especially for 90s DC Comics.
Yeah.
That first however many issues. DC went into the whole 0 hour crossover thing, and they did weird stuff. Steel had powers, like he could teleport his suit on and off of it. And then they ruined Steel. So not only that 0 hour thing wasn't great, but then they made a movie. And I was excited about them making a movie, because it's my favorite. I couldn't even go see it. I didn't see it until it was years later. Shaq played.
Was it Shaq Steel? Yeah.
Shaq played Steel.
Diesel. Shaq.
It had like a Steel but Batman mask where it shows the face here.
Yeah.
Steel's it went over
mask.
the whole thing.
I think they wanted you to know that was Shaq under the mask.
Yep.
It's the same as Dredd.
It was expensive. Yeah, Dredd. He wanted to take his mask off
the whole movie.
The character's never been seen without his mask in the comics. That's the whole point of the character.
Exactly.
And he wanted it off the whole movie. I gotta see him, Sylvester Stallone. So he didn't have a cape. He didn't fly.
He was
Dude,
Steel.
He didn't use the hammer in the way he used the hammer in the comics. There's no ties to Superman. It wasn't. It wasn't as bad as the Catwoman movie, but it wasn't. It's in the ballpark.
Oh yeah, good old Catwoman, Halle Berry.
Yeah, it was in the ballpark, man. But I mean, I've watched it a couple times just because I do love the character, and I'm like, okay, now it was a bona fide flop. It's been years. I'll sit and watch it and try to enjoy for what it is, and at least appreciate they tried with my favorite superhero at the time. But that's just a part of Superman. Took some time off from comics because, you grow up a little bit, you got high school. I had wrestling, I had job, I had dates, I had girls. All your money went different places, and, you just had to drop comics for a little while. So, after I got married, my wife was really cool. I'm like, because we watched the X-Men movie. That was out. The Spider-Man movie had come out, and I'm like, it'd be fun to read some comic books again. She's like, why don't you go back down? So, we had a place called Time Warp in Spadham, in Oklahoma at the time. We're across the street from Entertain Mart. Some people might know Vintage Stock. It all goes back to the Book Barn. Book Barn was owned by one brother. Time Warp was owned by the other brother. Time Warp closed. The other brother sold Book Barn, became Vintage Stock, and they bought some other chains. But my first comic book was purchased at the first Vintage Stock store when it was a Book Barn. So I came back to reading comics, and there, I picked up Batman, picked up a Superman, found Plastic Man at the time, I just loved the art on it. Just come out. Guy, Bill, if you watch these, he had recommended it to me. Fell in love with Kyle Baker's art. Loved Plastic Man from that moment on. Another character that when we talk about, there's some deep things on why I dig him so much too. But Superman did come back to that around that time. After few years after that, the Infinite Crisis happens. One of my favorite storylines ever. And in that one, you get classic Superman, Golden Age, Gray Temple. There were 4 characters that they did not kill out of continuity with the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Crisis on Infinite Earths, a whole other episode. Very nerdy about the Crisis on Infinite Earths. We're already 40 minutes in, and I just turned like 24 years old here.
No, you
so we got like 20 years to cover. Infinite Crisis. Oh, so Crisis on Infinite Earths, there were 4 characters who were not killed. Superboy of Earth Prime. Alexander Luthor of Earth 3, he was the hero where Justice Syndicate were bad guys. These are the 4 people that helped save the universe that did not get respawned into the new universe. And then the original Superman and Lois, the Golden Age, what became Earth 2 Superman and Lois, but the OG original, the one with the cool crooked S. You found out all this time they could watch reality. And Superboy was going nuts because he's like, it kept getting darker and darker and darker in the DC universe, and he's like, I don't like how dark this is getting. This isn't how a hero's supposed to act. And he finally breaks out, and that's where the crisis starts, because he's like, I'm going to show them. I'm going to relaunch the Earth in the way that it should be, because he's watched for 20 years them just screw this stuff up. So that's where that starts, and that's where I found my love for Power Girl, which was the Earth 2 Supergirl. So it's all Superman adjacent. What a great character Power Girl is, especially when Amanda Connor was drawing and writing for her, because quirky, funny woman writing for a quirky, funny woman character.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, truly.
So, for Superman, it's been the identifiable one. Smallville came out, and that was fun to watch because I knew all the Superman lore. And I'm like watching this new show with my wife, and I'm like, oh, this is cool, but in the comics, it blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Then you had Superman Returns, which was a flop, but man, I loved it.
I totally agree with you. I personally enjoyed it too.
I liked the Brandon Routh one. Thought he was fine. Could have been more of a charismatic Superman, but he's young, you look the part, and I thought it worked for the film role. Kevin Spacey, hey, he's a creep. Hell of an actor, great Lex Luthor. Parker Posey was in the movie, small role, but I love Parker Posey. She's so great. I liked that movie. I like where they were going with it. Bryan Singer, I really like him as a director. That was in my youth pastor year, so I really liked a lot of the allegory to that, because I'll still come back to that hero journey, a lot of the religious iconography, especially with the Jesus thing, and Superman Returns. And I just thought it hit on a lot of really cool levels, but it didn't quite hit on a mainstream level.
Yeah, I think they didn't understand that it was like a continuation of like the Christopher Reeve movies.
Yeah.
Cause and then it just was more of an emotional movie. I felt like that people wasn't trying to see with Superman, because everybody was like, oh, with the technology, this movie's gonna be wonderful, and then it turned out to be more grounded. They were like, but I personally enjoyed it because it was more grounded. You saw sides of Superman. See, and this is what you're talking about earlier with people say Batman has all the problems, like, and he rises above. Batman has a lot. Superman deals with a different beast of problems that is like, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's why
Superman has to choose between the people he loves the most or doing the right thing for all of humanity.
100%. I think also comics like All-Star Superman and like Kingdom Come which is one of my favorite ones. I think it shows a side of Superman that's very, very human.
Kingdom Come was written by a preacher's kid, so a lot of religious iconography in that book too.
Yeah, that book is literally my favorite one.
So, that goes back to Superman being the pure, the great, he has all these godlike powers, but doesn't go to his head.
Mm-hmm.
You rarely get to see Superman just be a badass. That's why I like when he fights Darkseid, and you're like, oh my God, Superman is a badass.
Yeah.
Like, he can throw down with the best of them.
Yeah.
And you get to see that at like the end of like Justice League Unlimited, the Justice League Dark animated movie.
Yeah, that was good.
And then there's some times in the comics where I remember Forever Evil one time, Superman just, oh my God, that's why Superman is Superman.
Yes.
Mark Waid wrote The Nail. That was the Justice League Elseworld where Superman wasn't part of the Justice League. He was the nail that held it all together, and what the Justice League was like and what it wasn't like without Superman. But yeah, I mean, that hero journey, I mean, it's so like Moses was put in a basket, sent down a river, right? And then he was raised by a culture that was not his, only to be raised to be the savior of those people.
Wow.
Superman was put in a rocket, sent to Earth. Like, it's not an accident. Siegel and Schuster were both Jewish.
Yeah.
Like, this is the Moses story. And then later they modernized it and put a lot of Jesus references in there.
Just like even when we had that Dragon Ball Z episode, Goku, same situation, sent to Earth, became their savior, raised in a culture he didn't belong to. They started an idea that has been involved for so long.
Well,
awesome.
even the Christopher Reeve Superman, General Zod turns on Jor-El, which the name El right there is a name for God, and because he turned, he was banished out into this dark zone. Not only him, but all the people who followed him. Like, it's biblical story upon biblical story that they use for the creation of this ultimate hero. Because, I mean, there's a reason the Bible is an important book, even if you're not a religious person, because it's so full of the history that helped get us here too. No matter what you think of those stories as historical or not, it's still modernized our society. So great stories of hero journey in there with Moses and Jesus, and they just grab from the best to put into the Superman story. So he has all these powers, but still does the right thing, still serves humanity, doesn't become a dictator unless you will go and watch something like Injustice.
Yeah, that is a great turn and twist on Superman just in general. Also,
Joker kills a pregnant Lois,
Yes.
and Superman snaps, and he's like, screw this, enough. He kills the Joker, he takes over, he's the president of the world, and he's like, nobody's gonna stop me. And then Batman gets an army together and tries to stop him, and it's a great video game and comic book.
spoiler alert, it's a little late on this one, but it's wonderful. That whole series is wonderful. Like the first video game is like just, it was super surreal at the time just to play the game, and you're like, oh my gosh, Superman's a villain. How are we gonna? Yeah. How's Justice League gonna combat this?
When they relaunched and they made the new 52, one of the Earths was the Injustice Earth.
I loved it, man. Yeah. And then, Superman Red Sun was an interesting perspective on Superman, too, because it's like, okay, if he goes to Russia, is he going to be any different? Or is his, are the values going to be the same for the most part?
Which is a little xenophobic in hindsight, because it's not like he landed in the best country in the world. He just landed on some farmland near some great people in the middle of Kansas. So, one of the modernizations that I really liked they did with Superman was after the Crisis on Infinite Earths, before that, Lex Luthor was what a villain was. He was an evil scientist who was going to create something that was going to take Superman and going to take over the world. Starting in the 80s, they wanted something more nuanced. And Lex Luthor was what people saw as the evil in the world in the mid-80s. And that was the businessman. And the businessman, he didn't interact with Superman. He would work behind the scenes to manipulate, to take Superman down. He wasn't going to get his hands dirty as Lex Luthor. He was going to have other people do these things in a way that couldn't necessarily be traced back to him. And what I thought, in hindsight, is both hilarious and completely sad is in 1985, you have any idea who they used as the businessman to model him off of? Who they said, this guy's a villain? Ooh. Well, he's president right now.
Dude, I just clicked. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I've got home. Sometime when you're at the crib, I'll show you the Lex Luthor comic where it's got Lex Luthor, and you're like, that looks like a Trump photo. And this is 80s. This is 80s.
Because I'm sure they probably scrubbed that off the. You probably can't.
No, it's there. It's there. Okay. And then in 2000, Lex Luthor became president 16 years before Trump.
Yeah.
Like,
in the comics and everything.
Crazy prediction stuff that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it really is.
But yeah, they modeled him after Trump because he's a villain.
Truly.
So, yeah, but Superman, man, I could talk Superman all night. So, the comics. So, let's talk a little bit of stuff I got in the store.
Yeah, you got some merch.
And then, I'll show my Superman cred too. At my house, I've got all either side of my fireplace. I'll throw a picture up here and picture up next. But on either side of the fireplace, I've got the little window bays that are like built into the brick, and the shelves are there, and they're all Superman stuff. So love having all of that. Superman, if you want to get into it, a great place. Superman the movie with Christopher Reeves. Yeah, I spoiled the ending for you. It's not about the ending. Superman and Superman 2. Got both of those here at the store right now. I talked about Batman the Animated Series. They spun that off. They did a Superman the Animated Series. There's a nice little Steel promo in here, a little cameo. Did a couple episodes. They brought him in.
It's beautiful.
I've got multiple copies of trade paperback, The Death of Superman. I think cover price for $18. You can get it for $14. That's $4 off. That's a nice little chunky discount. Brand new copy, Death of Superman story.
I might have to buy that.
Something I had from a while back from those animated series. You got the Superman and Batman, a little 2-pack there.
I love that, man. Oh my gosh, they got him in the shade of blue too for Batman.
This is
That's cool.
This is a newer line that they did. It's from Spin Masters, but it looks a lot like the Super 7 series.
Oh wow.
But they did the whole Superman movie. They got a Lois. They got 2 different Jor-Els. You got a Zod, a Luthor. I'm pretty sure we got all of them here. I don't know if we have both Zor-Els.
That's super cool. Oh boy.
And then one of the greatest Batman comics ever written was Dark Knight. Batman: The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
And that was the Superman versus Batman battle from The Dark Knight Returns. So.
Such a good comic book.
And then we got Funko Pops. We got the big Funko Pops, the Soups, though.
Big Funko.
Man, if I had space for that at the house, knew where I would want to put it, I would totally take that home. But I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, in due time.
So for now, it's for sale here. But so the new Superman movie that came out in 2025. So 2025, I call it the year of Griffin. Not everything was great in 2025. There's obviously a lot of things that were pretty crappy in 2025. But for me personally, Superman came out, New Frankenstein came out. We'll have an episode about how nerdy I am about Frankenstein at some point too.
Hey, let's get it.
And I opened Nerdstalgia. So 3 big things for 2025. But I always said, there's never been a good Superman movie, even though I love Superman. We didn't really talk about the Zack Snyder Man of Steel. It's just dark. Didn't have the hope. It's too cynical. That's not what I like about Superman.
I hear you. I have a interesting opinion on that one. I enjoyed it because I was at the time when that movie came out, I was more into like The Watchmen and like a lot of darker
And
aspects.
I
So
like
was
The Watchmen.
Cool.
I love The Watchmen. But don't Watchmify my Superman.
I feel you. I hear you, bro.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Superman would not make choices he made in that movie, especially on his first outing. That one's not 21 years old. I can't spoil that one yet.
No, not yet. We're not going to talk about the end of that. Because I think I know what you're talking about with the choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this year, it was like a comic book, man. You just open up a comic, and Stan Lee used to have the saying that every comic could be somebody's first comic. So he would open every comic with, there was a young Peter Parker who got bitten by a radioactive spider, and ever since he's taken the responsibility with his spider powers as Spider-Man. And then it goes into the story.
Right.
So this, it said, the dawn of the hero happened, the first hero, but now we're in this new wave of heroes, and here we are.
Mm-hmm.
And then you meet Superman, and he's just gotten his ass whooped, and he's needing help from his dog, Crypto, and you're just thrown into the middle of fights, middle of the story, pre-populated universe. There's a Justice Guild,
Yes.
and
Justice Gang.
Justice Gang, and you got Guy Gardner's a total
He's
smart ass.
funny, bro.
Love it. Can't wait for the Lantern Show.
Yup.
He said the F word in that more than anything he's ever done in his career.
I cannot wait to hear, because Guy Gardner was such a good part of that movie. Mr. Terrific.
Yeah. Terrific was so good.
Yeah.
Redeemed Terrific from that awful Arrowverse Terrific where that was a bad version of Mr. Terrific.
Yeah, I think that's probably, in my opinion, the newest Superman is the best Superman movie they have ever made.
Definitely the best Superman movie. Got to shout out again the live action Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
That's a grown up Superman. That's a Superman that has kids, and he's got to be a dad and save the world, and just unique, different, because it's a different period of his life. I wasn't reading the comics when Superman aged up and had kids. Haven't been reading comics for 15 years now probably, and just other priorities again, and I can get my comic fix in a movie pretty quick. And I got boxes and boxes of comics I haven't read that I can sit down when I've got the I got the need. So but this Superman in the movies, I love James Gunn. I love his sense of humor, but I love his heart, and I love how much things matter, and I love how much a hero is a hero in his universe. I love how much shout out to Smallville for the best Lex Luthor ever.
Yes, that.
And James Gunn agrees that that's the best Lex Luthor, so he really had the guy that played Lex study the Michael Rosenbaum Lex.
Yeah, and I think honestly, this Lex was very, very similar to Smallville Lex.
Yep,
after
very influenced.
The later Smallville Lex. Of course, they started off as friends and had that whole story arc, and you know what I'm saying, they made you be like, oh, is Lex wrong for this, or is but in this one, it just was straight to it. This Lex Luthor is all the way all in with destroying Superman, and got the technology to do it and everything. It's just such a good example of what Lex is. You know what I'm saying? I think he did a phenomenal job. I think he played Beast in X-Men a while back, and he's just phenomenal in a lot of stuff he does.
So I just like where James Gunn's going to take this universe. Peacemaker's been fantastic. Creature Commando show. James Gunn did a lot of heart, very good. And then he did the Superman movie, and now we've got Supergirl coming up this year. So I'm very excited. Momoa as Lobo in that one. That's going to be cool.
I think James Gunn's the right man for the DC universe. So serious.
We'll just see what happens to Warner Brothers and if they keep that train going, because he doesn't even know at this point. Because who can know? Because that's turned it into a mess. But DC's a hot property, so.
Truly hot property.
It's a timeless property at this point. So,
Truly.
yeah, there's so many places you can start with Superman. If you want to read, I would say John Byrne's Superman, or it's just called The Man of Steel. Superman for All Seasons. Anything from Loeb and Sale. Superman for All Seasons is fantastic. All-Star Superman you mentioned is a really good one.
The Kingdom Come series, that whole Alex Ross.
Not where I'd start you, but if you do like Superman, check that one out. If you're not a reader, you can do the movies. You can do the Superman the Animated Series.
That's a good starting point.
That's a great way to go. And then it can go right into Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. Christopher Reeves, you can watch Superman, Superman 2, and then I would skip 3 and 4, go to Returns, and then you can check out the Snyderverse if you want to, or you can go right to the James Gunn.
I would say hit James Gunn because he perfectly encapsulated Superman at its finest.
He has the whole, and I love the juxtaposition of the dark world we live in and how dark superhero movies we're getting, and he comes out with a movie where Superman's kind of a dork, and he's like,
such a dork,
kindness
and I
is the
love it.
Real punk rock, and I'm like, hell yeah.
No, that's exactly
it is, because
saving a squirrel.
Punk rock is when you're like, man, be against the grain of when everybody goes left, you go right.
Exactly, punk rock is that,
and
that's what it is.
When everyone's an asshole, be kind. And man, I love it.
Yeah,
and he captured the hope and the joy and the brilliance of Superman, and why Clark Kent wants to be great, and why Superman needs to be great, why he puts so much pressure on himself to be great.
Yep, the Fortress of Solitude in this movie, just everything from top to bottom is just magnificent, man. They really did a good job.
Yeah.
They really did a good job.
He's super thoughtful in the movie. I mean, there's a little spot where he gives a robot a name.
Yeah.
Because
exactly,
he just has a heart like that, and it's great. Yeah, so
saving a squirrel.
Yeah, he saved a squirrel.
One of the things that people were clowning on the most, I'm like, no, that's what makes that's why the whole tagline was it's the new punk rock. He saved the squirrel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Things like that. So
yeah, it just embodies everything I want to be. I want to make the right decisions. I want to, make the world a better place. And man, I love that Superman. One that I skipped, although man, he said some crazy things last year. The Dean Cain Superman. I was 13, 12, 14 years old. Man, that was on TV. That stuck out to me. That's part of my love for Superman.
Lois and Clark.
Dude, Terry Hatcher, that was my Lois. Although I really liked Erica Durant's Smallville.
Smallville Lois is my favorite.
And
Lois.
then I really like how spunky the Lois is on the Superman and Lois, the TV show there. So there's so many ways to check out Superman. So many ways to collect Superman, to have Superman. Do it on a comic, do it on a t-shirt, do it on a sticker. Show your love for Superman. Show some love in the comics. What do you love about Superman? What's your favorite Superman franchise? And let us know if there's something else you're nerdy about. Until then, we'll be back with another What Am I Nerdy About in a couple weeks. We'll have some What Are You Nerdy About? Shot one with the Nikki Hyde. One of the wrestlers is going to be defending his title out here at the BPW Brawl at the mall. So I'll be editing that, throwing that up soon.
That's cool.
And, there's ones in the archives that you can go back and check. Definitely check out the Type 1.
Yeah.
Warrior one, because we'll be talking about that grand opening. That is the 24th. That is coming real quick after this gets posted, and we want to see you there. We want to see you back next time. So
yes,
thank you, and we'll talk to you then.
Chris the King of Nerds, Pro wrestling, he swerves, stats and moves he serves. Living in the universe, ring the bell, he's there. With that passionate flair, posters up everywhere, nothing else can compare.